welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we'll be doing our usual rundown of the Barnet League and be looking forward to some big games this weekend in the London Cups, and we'll also be looking at the National Cups as well. So starting off our usual Barnet League rundown. We had one game in the Premier Division this week, and it was a very big game at the top of the table. Takers losing 5-2 to Trabzonspor UK. A bit of a shock result here. Obviously, Trabzonspor UK into the semi-finals of the London Cup. They've been very good at home, nearly unbeatable to be honest. But they were away from home here. Takers had been playing well recently as well. They've got to the Middlesex Premier Cup final. And I did expect Takers to win this game. But, you know, Trabzonspor UK, you can't write them off. And that's a very big result. Good boost for them going into their massive game this weekend. Into Div 1, there was no championship games. Cadaris Town 4, Northumberland Park Rangers 1. Pretty much expected. Cadaris Town in third place. Northumberland Park Rangers rooted to the bottom. And it's not looking good for them. And it's also not looking good for United House now after we beat them in the double header. Again, didn't get too many numbers, but we got enough. First half, very scrappy. Not very good football played from either side. Second half, we improved a bit. They had a man sent off. We managed to grab 2 late goals and get the first, of the 6 points, the first 3 of the 6 points. And then the second game as well, scrappy again. They missed a few chances. They missed a few chances in both games, to be honest, that looking back on, they'll be very disappointed. And we managed to grab a winner in the second game early in the second half. Very good strike from the edge of the box, half volley. So moving on to Div 2, Grange Park 2, AFC Edmonton 0, and Trent Park 4, Locomotive Thunder 0. In Div 3, NLR 3, Gal Phoenix 1, Arness Rangers... Div 4, NLR 3, Gal Phoenix 1, Arness Rangers 2, FC Cricklewood 2, and Barnet Salsa 3, Inter Mill Hill 1. Into Div 5, where we had the title decider between Cockfosters and EC Galaxy. This was played on the pitch next to us, so obviously we knew what was going on. Massive crowd came out for both teams, but particularly for EC Galaxy. Cockfosters took the lead with a penalty early on, probably first 10 minutes, 15 minutes. They pretty much controlled most of the first half as well. Going into half time, they were 1-0 up. No, they weren't 1-0 up, sorry. I think EC Galaxy pulled them back just before half time, actually. And this was the game turned on a few events. Cockfosters obviously 1-0 up, enjoying most of the possession. They have a golden chance at 1-0 to make it 2-0, and their striker blazes over from probably about 6 yards out. It's easier to hit the target, to be honest. He'll be very disappointed with that. And a few minutes later, EC Galaxy do get the equaliser, and they go in, and that was a massive momentum boost for them. They go in at 1-1. They had to only draw that game because they were level in points, but EC Galaxy had the better goal difference, and they only had to draw the game. And yeah, the second half was a different story. EC Galaxy controlled the majority of it. They took the lead with a fantastic header from a corner, and then they wrapped it up. A great free kick as well from the edge of the box. And massive congratulations to them for winning the 5th Division title. In Division 6, Koniach Athletic losing 10-2 to Armenian Youth Association. And North Athletico pulling off a bit of a shock there, beating league leaders AFC Muswell Hill seconds. In the cup action, Gal All-Stars losing 3-2 to Oakwood in the Roger Jones Senior Challenge Cup. In the Intermediate Cup, Peckenspore 2, Gospel Oak 5. In the Junior Cup, Shentry 0, North London Wanderers 1. And Sopranos 4, Whetstone Wanderers Old Boys 6. In the Invitational Cup, we had double headers. I don't know why. I actually genuinely don't know what the Invitational Cup is, and what at the end of things, what is it, a league stage? Is it knockouts? I don't know. These guys just seem to be playing each other week in, week out. But we had Atletico Cerezo losing 3-1 to Westbourne United in the first game and then losing 7-0 in the second game. We had Northwest Galacticos beating Heavy Hitters 5-2 in the first game and drawing 1-1 in the second. We had Panda beating Tauflik 4-2. We had Roving Reporters beating Hornsey and Highgate 3-1 in the first game, then losing 4-0 in the second game. And we also had New Copper losing 10-4 to Mehmetçik Galata. In a game that does actually make sense, in a cup that makes sense, the FA Sunday Cup. Highgate Albion 6, Club Lucy 1. We will go on in further detail about that after, but very well done to Highgate Albion. They're into the semi-finals now of the FA Sunday Cup, you know. Very good for them. And their Force actually lost to Hackney Wednesday in the London Junior Cup. So commiserations to them. I think that was the quarter-final stage. But we'll be looking at some of the other London Cups. I don't think we'll be looking at the Junior Cup. We're looking at the Challenge Cup and the Sunday Trophy later on. So going into the fixtures now in our Premier Division. Wait, we'll just get it up. Atletico Cerezo take on Takers. Atletico Cerezo have been very good this season, actually, surprisingly good. I think they're in 4th place. They have played a few more games than the other teams, but very good first season for them. Can't fault them this season. They'll be playing Takers, and the massive game at the top of the table as Highgate Albion take on AFC Oakwood. AFC Oakwood still top, but Highgate Albion can catch them, and if they win this game, it'll be a massive, massive boost for Highgate Albion's title hopes. AFC Oakwood need a win here, as Highgate can overtake them with the games in hand. They need to put the pressure on Highgate Albion to win them games in hand, and this is one of those chances that Oakwood have, you know, to take advantage of it. But Highgate have been in really good form lately, as shown by their very impressive result on the weekend. It'll be a very difficult trip for Oakwood to St Aloysius playing fields. I don't know who's going to win. I feel like Highgate will probably have the advantage. They did beat Oakwood last year in the Roger Jones Senior Challenge Cup final. So they do have a bit of, you know, bragging rights over them. But this is very important for both teams. You know, I feel like Hammer and Tongs come Sunday morning, it should be one of the better games in the Barnet Sunday League this week. Moving on to Div 1 again, the Championship doesn't have any games. I think the Championship season might have finished, or there may be a few more games. But AC Finchley face Gospel Oak. United House, I think, are nearing relegation. They're not quite confirmed yet because of AC Finchley. But AC Finchley do have a few games in hand. But United House, they need to start winning. I think they've only got a few games left. And they've got Highgate Albion reserves. So, you know, the little teams not coming in. The very good teams, you know, coming to play them this week. And it's looking like a downhill struggle for United House. When we played them, they didn't really, you know, show much in the way of quality. I feel like we didn't play half as good as we can, and it allowed them to have a few chances. But when they had those chances, they didn't show any composure in front of goal. And, you know, they probably a better team would have scored a few goals against us on Sunday, but they didn't manage to. And that lack of quality shows in the league table as well, as they're rooted to second bottom in the league. And also the big game for us as we go to Enfield Playing Fields, brackets 3G Astro, as we face Enfield United, our rivals. Very big game for us, you know. A decent season for us. I'm not saying it's been a quality season because our ultimate aim was to, you know, go further in cup competitions and potentially get to a final and win a trophy, and we haven't managed to do that. We had the disappointing result against Trent Park the other week. Losing to Ashford Town was very disappointing. We thought that was a very much a winnable game for us, and we didn't manage to do that. We take on a team in Enfield United. They are in the Middlesex Johnson Paint Trophy final, and they're a very good team on their day. They haven't had many days this season. Obviously, they're sitting in mid-table as well. We know when they've got a full team that they can play some very good football. You know, we'll never underestimate a team like Enfield United because we know how well they can play. You know, we have faith in, obviously, our ability and our players as well. So it should be a very good game, and, you know, there'll be a lot of bragging rights at the end of the game. It's between two very good teams as well, so it should be an entertaining game. I don't know if I'm playing. Maybe. I might be playing. Potentially. I think they'll like if I'm playing. I don't know. They might not at the end of the game if we win. They might not like if I'm playing then. So Div 2, Anatolians take on Trent Park. Oakwood Reserves take on GTFA. Massive game at the top. This game was meant to be played last week, I believe, but it'll be played this week. Third against first, the Whetstone Wanderers under-23s take on North London Athletic. Been a very good season for North London Athletic. Surprise package. They're top of the table. They weren't really good last year, to be honest. I think they were 5th or 6th last year, but they've improved immensely, and they'll take on Whetstone Wanderers under-23s, who have taken to this level like a duck to water. This should be a very good game as well. Another game you should, if you're a Barnet Sunday League fan, look forward to this week, because that should be a very entertaining and a very good game as well. Into Div 3, we've got North London Wanderers taking on Muswell Hill. We've got Shentry facing Continental. We've got Sopranos versus Underdogs. And another sneaky good game as well. Whetstone Wanderers Old Boys taking on North London Colts as well. As I said, as we always say every week, if you're local to any of these games, you know, get down and support these teams. You know, the boys, you know, fully appreciate. I'd say that for every team, the boys fully appreciate anyone who comes down to support. You know, it means a lot to us, really. Just get down and support your local grassroots team and stuff like that, because you do make a difference, you know, on a personal level. Into Div 4, we've got Inter Mill Hill taking on Highgate Albion thirds. We've got Div 6 action. Chef Chow and Berbers take on New Barnet, and Coney Hatch Athletic face Enfield Albion. We've got the Junior Challenge Cup. Brotherhood Cosy taking on Northwest Galacticos, and Highgate Albion Falls taking on Kadaris Town. In the Premier Cup, I think this is either the semis or the quarters. We'll just check now. It is the semi-final of the Premier Cup as Park Royals take on Zaza. That should be a very entertaining game. Park Royals from the Premier Division taking on Championship Zaza. But Zaza have had a lot of experience as well. So don't let that Championship status fool you. They have played some very good teams. And this will be a good challenge for Park Royals as well. Should be a very entertaining game. In the Barnet Sunday Football League Shield, Northwest Wolves take on Armenian Youth Association. And in the Invitational Cup, I believe, because Highgate Albion Falls are also in Junior Challenge Cup action. So I believe their game will be called off against South Tottenham United. And South Tottenham United instead will be playing in the Invitational Cup against Heavy Hitters. New Copper take on Westbourne United. The Bandits face Division 5 champions EC Galaxy. And Hornsey and Highgate take on Tauflick. So moving on to the other things we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about the London Cup semi-finals. So first of all, we're going to talk about the London Sunday Trophy. So the first semi-final was played last Sunday. Easterley 0, Applewell 5. We actually played Easterley in the pre-season. Actually, we drew 3-3 against them. They're a very good team. They're extremely good. They're extremely quick. They get the ball up the field well. Very skillful team. We caused them a lot of problems in the second half. They had a lot of the ball, to be honest. They had a lot of chances. They were very wasteful at times as well up front. I did make a few really good saves, but some of those chances they probably should have scored. We actually had the lead as well. I think they scored quite late on. I think they scored with a few minutes left. But they beat some really good teams on the way to the semi-finals. They actually beat Beckenham Rovers. They beat Groundhoppers. Sorry, that's a Don Strapsy thing. I think he called them Grasshoppers in one thing. Yeah, Groundhoppers. They beat Beckenham Rovers. They beat some really good teams on the way there. So so you can't really fault them. They also beat Hatcham Beckenham Manor as well, who are a very well-respected team at this level. So they've done really well. So congratulations to them. Unfortunately, they couldn't, get to the promised land of the final, but a very good result for Applewell. Let's just see how they've got to the final. So in the first round, I don't even know who they beat. Are they even here? They may have actually got a bye in the first round. They did actually get. Did they get a bye? I don't know. We're not really concerned with their first round action, but they got through. They've beaten some pretty decent teams as well on their way. They beat Ryefield actually, who we beat. We beat Ryefield 5-2. They beat Ryefield 15-2. So that's a very good result for them. 15-2 against Ryefield, who were a decent team. They beat Junction Elite's first team. Junction Elite, obviously, a very good team as well. We mentioned them a few times. Junction Elite, a very good team. Then they beat Grenfell Athletic as well. Grenfell Athletic, a very well-respected team. Obviously do fantastic things in the community. But Applewell, they didn't care about what fantastic things they do in the community. They put 6 past them. That's very good results against some good teams. Ryefield, Grenfell Athletic and Junction Elite. These are fantastic teams. They're not playing scrubs. These guys are, meaning business. And then they beat Dove House Lions. I don't know much about them, but Applewell beat them 3-1. So they must be a pretty good team if they're beating them only 3-1 and they're putting 5s and 6s and 15s past other teams. And they put 5 past East Elite as well. 5 away from home. That is, extremely impressive. And they'll meet in the final either NLO or Club Assyria. Club Assyria, as we know, they're in the Middlesex Premier Cup final against Takers. They beat City East, who we know a lot about. City East last year were the team we played in the London Cup quarterfinals. They're a very good team as well. They actually knocked off Sporting Continental in the earlier rounds as well. So we know a lot about City East, a lot of character, a lot of quality, a very good unit, very good team as well. And they'll be playing NLO. That should be a fantastic game. NLO knocking off Yeni Bogazici in the earlier rounds as well. So we know about them. We know about, they've obviously knocked off teams of good quality. Club Assyria knocking off Crayford Athletics 7-1 in an earlier round as well. And so both teams obviously have got a lot of quality in their ranks. I don't know where Club Assyria are in their league, but this could potential of being a treble, or even more than that. They may have a League Cup, to fight for as well. But they're in the Middlesex Premier Cup final. They could be in the London Sunday Trophy final as well. So good luck to both teams, to NLO and to Club Assyria. Moving on to the London Sunday Challenge Cup. We're at the semi-final stage as well. First game is this Sunday. Beatties take on Trabzonspor UK. This should be a very good game, Beatties have been on an immense roll over the last few months. They've knocked off SE Dons. They've knocked off Grand Athletic twice, once on penalties. They've, rectified their loss against Hatch Lane. They've won that. Fantastic work from all the players, in the Beatties squad team. We've always discussed this. How would they cope after they left the Hackney and Leighton League and moved to the Essex Corinthian League? But it's been fantastic for them. Billy has done a fantastic job, the manager. Obviously, I'd love to, have a conversation with Billy on what he thinks has gone right since they moved over from the Essex Corinthian League. Obviously, I think the split with Justin was, highly publicised, and I think Justin did a fantastic job. I don't think it was, Justin was a massive problem with what was holding Beatties back. But I feel like Billy has done a fantastic job as well. They're both, very good coaches in their own right, and always Beatties have a fantastic togetherness, a family aspect to their team. And this season, they've added even more quality, and they're putting those results together. And they've got a fantastic chance at home as well to make the final. But they cannot underestimate Trabzonspor UK, I'm telling you. And I don't think they will be, I feel like Beatties are going to be taking each team, very seriously. Trabzonspor UK, a lot of quality, up front. Warren Hughes Mifula, he's been arguably the best player in this London Sunday Challenge Cup. Not the best player. There's a lot of very good players here, but he's been the hero, of this cup run for them. The hat trick against Hatcham, the winner against Bayswater as well. So arguably not many players have had bigger moments in this London Sunday Challenge Cup than Warren Hughes Mifula. For me, it looks like being a very challenging game for Trabzonspor UK, especially as it's away from home. But, I'm wishing best of luck for both teams. I have a lot of love and respect for both teams. Obviously, Beatties, fantastic. They've got a lot of great guys, there. And Trabzonspor UK, obviously, Barnet League team. Their Cinderella story of this cup as well. They're the underdogs in this game, make no doubt about it. But with the teams they've knocked off, Highgate Albion, Bickley, Bayswater and Hatcham, some very good teams in there. They've knocked off very good teams, Don't underestimate what they've done, because it's been really good. But this may be their hardest, challenge yet. And best of luck to both teams. And then a week later, we've got another Essex Corinthian team, Hatch Lane. They take on Swag, another Cinderella team, Swag knocking off Lambeth All-Stars earlier in the competition as well. They knocked off another Cinderella-style team in Highgate and Muswell Hill. Hatch Lane, they've knocked off SE Dons. They play some really good football. They've beaten Beatties earlier in the season as well. So there's a lot of storylines here. You've got the favoured teams against the Cinderellas. You've got the Essex teams against the London teams. Obviously, Beatties and Hatch Lane obviously play games in London as well, but they're in an Essex, league. So best of luck to all the four teams involved there, and I'm sure that the final will be a fantastic spectacle. And moving on, just want to add last point before we finish the show. Beatties squad, FA Sunday National Cup. They win. They go through to the semi-finals as they beat Scorthorpe Athletic. They make the way to Doncaster to beat Scorthorpe Athletic 4-2. And Highgate Albion also get through to the semi-finals. They beat Club Lucy 6-1. Hat-trick for Jake Cass. Fantastic player. We know what he's about. 2 for Solomon Afori as well. The guy doesn't stop running. Fantastic player as well. Extremely dangerous. And Hamza Semakula as well. Former Rising Ballers player. Adding a goal. His goal in the previous round as well. Fantastic. Get on the Barnet Sunday League YouTube page to see that. And that wraps it up. So also just want to add congratulations to Adam and the boys at Highgate Albion for a fantastic job there. And that's the end of the show. Remember that if you've made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe. It means a lot. It helps the channel grow. It takes 2 seconds, and we'll see you in the next video.